Hello, and welcome to Write and Speak Better podcast with your host, Olalekan Mandela. So, today we want to look into how to dominate the world's most professional and networking platform, which is LinkedIn. First, what is LinkedIn? Why is it important for our professional life? Why do we even need it for our career? How do you set up yourself as an authority in your niche? How do you gain visibility to get the right audience, build your personal brand, and even get potential clients begging for your services? All of this we are going to discuss in this podcast. And I'm not going to do this alone. I will be doing that with my amazing guest today, Damilola Felicia Badmos. She is a personal and corporate brand photographer, one of the top LinkedIn influencers in Nigeria who have helped companies and brands gain visibility on LinkedIn. She's going to tell us what works and what doesn't work on LinkedIn. She recently released a book called How LinkedIn Works. You can get them in the description below. However, without further ado, family, let's dive in. But before we even dive in, don't forget to rate this podcast 5-star and subscribe, please. Rate it 5-star, subscribe, and even give it a wonderful review. It's going to help the algorithm to push this podcast to potential audience out there who are yet to discover this podcast yet. So that's the best thing you can do for me, please. And you can as well share this podcast with your friends, especially graduates, your college mates, your course mates, all of these things, because as a young guy or as a young person looking to change career, looking to start up a company, looking for funding, looking for grants, looking for scholarship, all of this you need LinkedIn, because that's the best place you can get all of this. You can get it on other social media, but LinkedIn is still the best and the best for this kind of a thing. So without further ado, let's dive in. Welcome, Damilola Felicia. It's so nice to have you on this podcast. I mean, it's as if I got a lottery ticket.
Thank you.
So it's so nice to. I mean, you are one of the top LinkedIn creators, one of the top LinkedIn influencer in Nigeria in diaspora. So we are so glad to have you on this podcast.
I
Thank you
sometimes
very much.
find it hard to believe.
Well, I feel that someone will not know his worth until somebody else tell them.
Right.
It always happens like that most of the time.
Uh,
So, Miss Damilola, don't let me do the introduction for you. So, introduce yourself. Tell us what you do. Tell us what you are into. The Write and Speak Better listeners would like to know you.
okay, so my name is Damala Felicia Badmas. I'm a personal branding photographer. I'm also a personal branding consultant. I help people on how to build their brand online. I teach them, I consult. I also help people um, navigate LinkedIn properly. And I also do other things in the background as well.
Okay, so was it corporate photography that led you to LinkedIn, or how do you come about LinkedIn?
So yeah, it was actually corporate photography actually. In 2021, like everybody, come on LinkedIn, you run away. Then when you see a need for using LinkedIn, you come back. So because of the kind of clients I was looking out for on LinkedIn, which was corporate people, I felt LinkedIn was a best place to get them. Yes,
Yes.
I started branding myself in a way that um, could attract them. I did a personal branding shoot for myself, spoke about the need of having personal brand, then reach out to people via DM, tell them what I do, and all of those things. So that was what made me come to LinkedIn in the first place, actually.
I understand. Now, from your statement, you said people do run away from LinkedIn and come back. What is that exact thing that make people run from LinkedIn? I mean, LinkedIn is a good mile if you know how to use it. So, what exactly is making people run?
So the thing is that LinkedIn is the LinkedIn is created in a different way, right? So for young folks like
Okay.
us, we're used to Instagram, we're used to Facebook, we are used to expressing ourselves, speaking the way we like. You can post a picture on your Instagram and just use two words and then you're gone. But for LinkedIn, we see everybody celebrating their milestones. And that is something that people don't understand because you find it hard to celebrate that on other social media platform because not everybody cares, number one.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
two, the people that are interested in you, the recruiters, probably people that you need, the corporate jobs, they are more on LinkedIn than on Instagram. And when we look at Facebook and Instagram, it's a platform where you have to do a lot of work for people to know you. Unlike LinkedIn, where you can connect with them directly and then your post goes from one connection, second connection, and third degree connection. So I think one of the reason why people run away from LinkedIn is because they find it too serious, which is true. They find it very serious.
Mm. Nobody's smiling. Everybody's serious here. No time for play.
Yeah, because everybody's trying to be conscious of what they say. Really, everybody's always
Yeah.
very what they say.
Okay, so I don't want to ask further questions because from what you are saying, I have a lot of questions, but I will just stick to my questions in here. So the first thing is, what is LinkedIn and why do people need to be active on it? Why do people need it? Why is it very important?
Okay, so LinkedIn is a professional platform where people connect with other professionals. I like to think of LinkedIn as an office. So when you go to a corporate organization, what do you have? You have the secretary, you have the accountant, you have the manager, you have employees. You know,
Exactly.
everybody that's professional um standpoint. That's why your DP has to the requirement is okay, try to have like a professional outfit on your DP because LinkedIn is more of the professional platform. Or like other platform where we can say it's social.
Mm,
We know Facebook it's more social.
exactly, exactly.
Yeah, Instagram is known for a social platform. YouTube is known for education. Um, Days of to go. Remember days
So
of to
are you trying to say LinkedIn is primarily for professionals and a little bit of social lifestyle?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was designed, the app mainly was designed for professional use.
Okay, so why
Yeah.
do people need to get active on it? I mean, it's
What
not
did
everybody like this professional strict lifestyle. Everybody wants to be social and all talk. So, but why do people need to still get on LinkedIn and get the best out of it?
so I think like you mentioned, not everybody likes to come from the professional point of view. And that is why I like to be honest when I speak about these things. Not everybody likes to write a lot. Remember days of school where you have like the most serious students in class, and then you just have one guy that is a dancer or a girl that just like to, make hair.
Exactly. Yes.
And
Yes.
I like to look at it from the perspective of it's not everybody that should be on LinkedIn. Yeah, people come on LinkedIn for just to have that professional look in case they're looking for a professional job. But if you're not someone that has that mindset of okay, I want to do professional stuff, then it's not compulsory. But people that
Mm.
to share their professional nature. For me, I used to be I'm on Instagram, but I find it hard to talk about professional stuff on Instagram, yeah? Because obviously I didn't start from that foundation. Do you understand?
Exactly. And I think Instagram is just all about fine pictures and
Yeah, yeah. So, but for LinkedIn, you don't even have to have a fine picture. Yeah. So, in the reason why I don't even use a lot of Instagram and TikTok is because it's a little bit stressful for me. I'm a perfectionist. I like to have my background all lit up. I like to be fine. But quality of images determine the reach you get. So if some people don't have that energy to start or looking at camera or trying to get the best background. That is why LinkedIn is more of writing and it helps you develop yourself as well. Also, there are some people that
yes.
just intellectual people by nature, like they just want to talk about intellectual stuff and not just okay everything entertainment. So I
Yes.
think
Yes.
platform that can help
Sorry
you.
to cut you right there, Dami, but in the recent trend, there's been a lot of practices that some LinkedIn creators imbibe just to favor the algorithm. For example, people now tend to create carousels because they feel like it favors the algorithm on LinkedIn. You talk about writing, and I was just thinking everybody came with if everybody come with the mindset of writing, but then they are not getting the reach because the algorithm is just too tired of writing. Algorithm wants something else, maybe carousel, video, poll, and all of those things. Do you think all of these things affect the way we build our brand on LinkedIn?
So, first of all, LinkedIn does not want to be left behind. That's why they try as much as possible to go with the trail. Many other folks are like, LinkedIn is becoming too saturated. And I understand, LinkedIn is a business, you understand? So, they also want to make money. And because you understand that people are also evolving, that's why many of them has
Mm,
the writing aspect, and now they're introducing new things. So for me, writing can be, that's one thing about being a creative is that you have to think outside of the box. Yeah, carousels work, but one thing I would say is what would make the algorithm work for you is the type of people that follow your content,
mm,
people that don't even use LinkedIn frequently. When you make a post and nobody gets to like it or gets to interact with it the next in like 10 minutes, then your post is just the algorithm will say like, this post did not do well, and then you push it somewhere else. But imagine you have active audience that okay, as you soon as you make a post, maybe they're just online, they see it, they like it, it's attractive. Then one person like
mm.
the connection of that person sees it that he or she likes it, then they get to like it over and over, and that's how we saturate. So for me, I would say that it's not about the algorithm per se, it's the type of people that you have in your connections.
Thank you very much for that. I think I just shift my mentality from something else. Okay, so moving forward, what are the major misconceptions about LinkedIn? People talk like LinkedIn is for old people, LinkedIn is for professionals. Oh, I'm a dancer, I can't get on LinkedIn. I'm a painter, I'm an artist, I can't get on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is for accountants, bankers, and all this professional lifestyle. Because I know there are photographers like yourself. We have models on LinkedIn. We have a lot of people on LinkedIn. So what are the major misconceptions people have about LinkedIn, which is not true? And what are the major do's and don'ts people should do on LinkedIn and people should not do on LinkedIn?
Okay, that's actually a big question. Uh, when we say, I think I would go with the first question, which is what are the major misconceptions? So many people feel like LinkedIn is a serious platform. Even though I can say sometimes it's not true, it's actually true. Yes, that's number one. You have to come with a mindset of, okay, I'm a professional. Then another misconception is that LinkedIn is boring. LinkedIn is actually not boring, depends on how you use the platform. I'll give my partner is a physiotherapist, and he's not really it doesn't really have a lot of presence on other platform, just like we, just post your picture and then you run away, you like other people's posts and things like that. But for LinkedIn, when you look at it as okay, I want to share something, I have something the world wants to hear. We know that TikTok is saturated now, Instagram is saturated, um, Facebook is saturated. So with LinkedIn, you can actually build that brand you want for yourself. You can actually when my partner first started on LinkedIn, he was like, let me just post once per week. But when he posted like 3 times per week, people started commenting on his post and they started liking it. And it felt different. Feeling different is the fact that you feel like people are accepting what you have to say. Everybody like when they're being accepted. Everybody like when they get to share something and people get to relate with them. So I think one of the interesting thing about LinkedIn is you get to put your thoughts out there, and then when people find it interesting, they get to relate with you, and that way you feel like um, you're inspiring people, you're educating people, which it's an interesting feeling to have.
Exactly. I'm agreeing with you with what you said.
Yeah, really. Then I think the last misconception I would say is that people feel like LinkedIn, you can't sell yourself. Yeah, it's
Even
tricky.
people felt sometimes that it's for high profile individuals, like it's for all these high profile CEOs, founders, and all of that. And I try to tell them anybody can be on LinkedIn if you know what you're doing.
Yeah, yeah, I believe so. You just have to package yourself well, really. You just have to. But I would also
Emphasis on the word package.
say package, it's packaging really, because there's some pictures I can post on Instagram that I wouldn't want to post on LinkedIn. Not like anybody is forcing me not to post it, but I just don't want to have this kind of perception, because perception you want for yourself. It's not like everybody started from somewhere. If you want people to believe that you're something, you have to create that kind of feeling. If you want people to believe that you have like 5 billion in your account, you can create that kind of perception that
Show that 5 billion packaging.
you get. Yeah, though you don't have to break the bank, but have the
From,
way you
from today, Dami, you are going to be seeing me with a $1 billion car in a very, very nice photo shoot video photos.
why sure you have the money.
Okay, do's and don'ts. Yes, please. Yes, please.
Okay, so under 1 minute, the do's is that obviously come with a professional mindset. Don't post pictures
Mm.
you drinking or you partying or you, yeah, all those kind of photos. If you want to post a picture that is not really professional, try to give a story that people can relate to it. The reason why this is important is because you don't want people to ignore you. So you have to do something that will make people like you. Also, I would say one of the interesting things to do when writing is you have to um, research. There are some people that say, okay, do 30 days challenge or do 50 days challenge, post like 3 times a week. But I bet to differ. I think that you should, if you start now, yes, you can create stuff, but if you can take your time to do research, not only is it going to help you mentally, but you're going to feel good like, so I wrote something really interesting for people to read. And with time, your content will remain quality and it can stand the test of time.
Thank you very much for that. What about the feeling that some people always post, success stories all the time, all the time, all the time, and sometimes you start wondering, come on, don't you have any mistakes you've ever made? Don't you have any failures? You've always post how you have $10,000, how you made 90 clients in 90 days, and all of those things. What do you have to say about that?
Okay, so I think like I study marketing. Not, I didn't study marketing in school, but I've studied how marketing works. Now there is this belief. It depends on who you are. There are some people that maybe are copywriters or people that are looking for clients, and the best way to attract their clients is by calling big money that okay, they've achieved so and so. So whoever that is their potential client might feel, I want to be with this person. Do you understand? So people believe that when I call, so for example, you say that you've done like your podcast that made, or let's say you've interviewed people on your podcast that worth over $1 billion on your account and you feel very proud about it because you
Amen.
said that no. It's just a mindset game, really. Some of them are
Yeah.
not true, but because they want to get your attention and because Africans like a wolf, bro. We
Yes,
like a wolf.
so yes, no.
We
I
just
mean, if you are not careful, they are going to drain you. They are going to
that's
drain
the
you with pro bonos.
that's the thing. So people use that. There are also some people that maybe their success story is the only content that they have. That's why I tend to look at content as, being creative in different areas. That's the best way to attract people. One thing I've noticed about LinkedIn is that LinkedIn, everybody on LinkedIn is proud, number one. Everybody's a big boy on LinkedIn.
Yeah, I'm
On
not proud though.
no, that's not the proud I mean. Like
Yes,
everybody
I
knows.
understand. Everybody put themselves on a high standard.
Yeah, yeah. Unlike when you go on Instagram, you see a favorite celebrity making you laugh, even if they say do something, because they are not, you count them as creatives. You just look at it like, it's just there. But coming on LinkedIn, if one person starts shouting at you can sense when someone shouts at you by their post, everybody would leave you and just move on. So one thing I've noticed about things like people that make so much noise about, money, a lot of things that is repetitive, you start losing audience. That's why a lot of our comedians, people that do skits, Taoma, Maraji, Mr. Macaron, they like to diversify their content, because when you keep giving us the same thing over and over again, you
Get
tend to
tired
lose
of it.
followers. That's why you have to be very creative, really.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. To tell you a story of a guy I knew here in Unilorin, and we were working at the radio station together. But then when he made a post on LinkedIn, I was like, "Come on, bro, we gotta do this place. So why you they make this yeah assumption?" But seriously, when he made those posts, I did not even counter him. I even posted thanks for sharing, because I just feel like you portray yourself the way you want the world to see you. If you want the world to see you as a liar, if you keep posting like that, people are going to see you as a liar
And
eventually,
you
and you
won't
want to see yourself
really.
seriously, because I just feel like is high time we start being authentic with ourselves. There is no reason why you won't post some of your mistakes, although not some personal ones, not some very very embarrassing ones, but some things that you think that they are just susceptible to happen, to let the people know that this thing where we they do is not bed of rose, is not working on a platter of gold. We are working for it, and this is what happened when you keep working for something and you are not getting it for free. Understand that kind of thing. So
Yes, yeah.
that's what I just want to say. Moving forward, you are a LinkedIn influencer. If you are to start all over again, what are the basic things? What are the basic things or some things you will put in place, you make sure you do if you are starting all over again? Or what would have been the things that you would have done differently if you had to start again?
Okay, I think I shared this on my LinkedIn, and in Ghana, it went really viral. So first of all, I've obviously we know optimize your page. Second one is I would invest a lot in personal branding images. Now, not studio images, not studio images, but
Tell us the
images.
difference. Tell us the difference. Because everybody thought, I know personal brand, but everybody thought professional picture must be taken in a studio. You must look all suit up and all of that. So tell us the difference between those branding pictures, corporate pictures. You are a photographer and normal pictures. So
I
tell us.
don't know if you saw the photos I used for my book. That was more of branding images. We actually wanted to use a studio, but thank God we didn't use a studio. So branding images has to do with lifestyle. You not being in a studio all day, having your props like your laptop with you, doing your portraits in
Mm.
very vibrant environment, compared to a studio place where you just have your background, just a background image, excuse me. So for me, I mix both, because I use the studio, that's my home studio, for my headshots, but I'm going to change my headshot soon, and this is more of lifestyle. So that's really the difference, because when I first started out, okay, let me just do a rewind back. When I first started out, I uploaded my picture, changed everything, because I know that when I send connection out, the first thing people will do is what? Check my profile. And if you see you're well packaged, your profile is well neat, it's very hard for people to refuse your message or refuse your connection request.
Exactly.
So it's just like
Exactly.
you, when you say fine girl, you go approach her compared to someone that is not fine
Yes.
now.
So
Exactly. So that
exactly, exactly,
is
exactly.
packaging. That's why a lot of our celebrities invest a lot in their looks. Because for me, I would say one of the things that made me go for on LinkedIn is my pictures and the kind of post I make. Yeah. Though some people don't like putting
Mm.
pictures in it, which is fine. I'll use my husband as an example. We took some photos together, and then just his own images, and then he hardly posts on LinkedIn. The first post he made on LinkedIn with picture bang like this, he had a lot of
It goes
reaction.
viral.
Yeah, because people once you see this image and your if your photo aligns with what you're saying. So for example, you're trying to make a post on motivation, like maybe a sad motivation. You know, there's like sad motivation and there is good
Yes,
motivation.
oh, yes. Oh.
You're putting the sad motivation and you're smiling. It don't work. Or you're trying to put a post that
Hmm.
um
I don't know if you see about this viral CEO that was crying because he laid some of his worker off
you
their
yeah,
jobs.
you saw that you was trying to prove a point, but that thing went off, backlash. So obviously, and again, I felt that's like the best thing you could do because you can't be putting
Exactly,
a
for real.
picture when you sack people. You get
I
so
mean, on LinkedIn, it's better you get your message right because people can misunderstand you if you are not careful.
that's why I say that I am of the school of thought that get everything right before you post, because you won't know the moment your post will go viral. So just like you're preparing for an interview, for me, even as much as okay, even from the very beginning when I started, I remember the first post I did was introduction of myself with a very fine picture of me holding my camera saying, "Hi, my name is Amlola. I'm a photographer. I believe in this. I believe in that." That went. I think I got about 160 something likes. Then, and I started talking about why branding photos are unnecessary. Then I commented on people's posts. I started connecting with people in my industry. So I know photographer. Who are the people in my industry? PR guys would need a photographer. Marketers might need. CEOs might need. So I connected with people in that niche first of all because they are the one that would understand
Mm.
what. And many people make the mistake.
They are like your audience. They are like your targeted audience.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. There's no how
Mm.
that someone in that niche will see my post and will not be able to relate. That's why people don't have engagement. So imagine an
Okay,
engineer.
now going. You are about to dive into my last question, which is engagement. People don't get engagement, and they are tired of LinkedIn. Most of the time, they say, I don't get likes, I don't get engagement. So, what are the things? Should they comment every day or should they post
Now,
every day? What are the sure way of getting engagement?
to be honest, number one way is snap high quality picture. You don't have to use a camera. If you have an iPhone or a good camera, snap well. People use backgrounds that are not lit. You have to be very specific. I think pictures will really go far because a lot of people don't even read the content. It's just like a post because the picture is fine. And because that person just liked
Ah,
it, you know,
wow.
go a lot of people don't they just like, this face is familiar. Let me just like it. They like it. Then I'll also say that another thing is go for networking events. So the reason why I mentioned networking events or go for events where people that are in that place are on LinkedIn. So when I started, I attended two networking events, and those people are my friends till today, even though I'm not in Nigeria. So the event was from someone on LinkedIn. We met in person, everybody, we connected on LinkedIn. So from that group alone, we took pictures together, I wrote about the person, individual photos, group photos. Then we started tagging ourselves. So because that person obviously would want to comment, we're able to build each other platform. And so the connection will see my post, my connection will see your post, and that's how it went. So imagine if people at an event, you connect with them, you probably take photos with them. That's enough content that would go far. Then once you have that to
Yes.
your
So
advantage,
what about people that couldn't go to networking events? For example, while I was in Ibadan, LinkedIn local Ilorin took place. I couldn't attend.
okay,
When I left Lagos and go to Ilorin, LinkedIn Lagos took place. I couldn't attend. Something always leads to one thing or the other, and it's because of work because I can't just leave my work like that. So,
yeah.
what do you advise people aside from the networking events?
Okay, so
What
aside
other
from
things?
working, I would say aside from the photos as well, is make high quality content. Now, now there are two type of audience you can have. You can have the general audience and you can have your niche audience. What do I mean? So for me, because I post a lot of content that everybody can really resonate with, an elder, someone in their 40s, someone in their 30s, someone in their 20s. So I've been able to target audience from those different perspectives. I talk a lot about Christianity, which is my faith, because a lot of people are Christians. They get to engage, and so it gathers people from all over. When if
Mm,
I doing content for copywriters only. Obviously, let's say I want to train copywriters. My content will be mostly for copywriters. That's why it's not a lot of people that actually go viral don't make so much money compared to someone that
mm,
is specific, really. There's a difference between when you are rich and when you are famous. I learned that from
Preach on, sister, preach on.
yeah. So
Exactly,
uh,
exactly.
there are people that don't make noise on LinkedIn and they're making their money on LinkedIn. I have friends that said, okay, yeah, they make they make money on LinkedIn low key. But one thing I like to say is that purpose, there are some people that's why teachers in school don't get as rich as some students eventually because teachers are more about impacting why students make use of the knowledge shared by the teachers and what they've learned
Exactly.
from school.
Yes.
So it depends on what you're really looking out for. When I came on LinkedIn, okay, I wanted to do photography, but over time my desire changed. I felt like, okay, I could share more. I had other things to say, and I started saying them. Now, when I moved to the UK, I also posted a lot about general stuff. I've done enough photography. I feel like I still have a lot of things to share, which can be categorized as a general kind of content. Do you understand? So I would say that
Yes,
depends
I go
on
that.
the audience you have, depends on the content that you put out. If it's high quality, people would people would resonate with it. Just to summarize it, the question I would say is, what's that thing that will make you follow somebody? What's that thing that gets you attracted to someone's post that will make you follow?
Mm,
So when you think about it, you realize that okay, if you do your stuff like this, for example, on TikTok, all this story I'm writing on LinkedIn, nobody would comment at all because TikTok is straight to the point, videos, 15 seconds, make your
exactly.
point
Yeah.
in 30 seconds. But LinkedIn, even if you do 30 seconds, not everybody has the time to watch a video and it might not do so well. So yeah.
Thank you so much. I think we have come to the end of the first part. So the second part is you just released a book
Yeah.
called about LinkedIn. Can you
Well,
tell us about it? Because we want people to know what this LinkedIn is all about. So can you tell us about the book and what people will gain when they get the book?
okay, so reason why I read the book is for one major reason, and that is rather than you coming to my DM, hi damn it, teach me how to use LinkedIn, just go and buy the book. So yeah, that's the major reason I read that.
Don't come and
Don't
threat me.
don't stress me. Don't stress me. And I really do not have time for doing online classes and doing
Exactly. There's no luxury of time to answer everybody's DM. And if you do not answer them, it might look like you are snubbing them or something, and which is
exactly.
not the kind of person you are. You are just trying to make use of your time effectively.
You get that many of them at the end of the day will not even pay attention. So I felt like, okay, I have knowledge on this thing. I know that I wouldn't have the time to do online class courses back to back. I know that I wouldn't have time to start training people on WhatsApp because I have other things I want to do in my life. I don't want to be like that teacher for social media for the rest of my life because I like to think fast. So I realized that this thing will not work. So what's that thing that can work? I first did an ebook actually, and the title was How the Roadmap to LinkedIn Visibility, but I didn't really promote that so well because that was in 2021. No, that was last year. Yeah, that was last year because I was busy, got busy with my wedding and I had an event. So fast forward to the end of last year, I was like, "Ah, this book is here. why don't I promote it again? So we did a lot of adjustments. Um, a lot of things changed about the book. Then I was like, okay, I think I can make this a physical copy. So the whole thing was not really planned. It was just an ebook at first. Then later I
Going to
said,
be
okay,
continued.
yeah, then we gave it to a publisher to do it. It was just like film. I give credit to a friend of mine,
Wow.
Eric, because he was the one that was saying, I don't know
Wow.
what
Did
now.
that go? Now so wonders Jesus. Now so wonders Jesus they do. Miracle need to tire
To
Jesus.
be honest, yeah, I never planned. I've never in my life seen myself as an author. Never ever. So this whole thing, I
But
think I
thank
was
God for that.
today that I feel uncomfortable being everywhere because I'm more like an introvert. So trying to market, it's actually
Yes, I understand. I understand. But I think LinkedIn has given you a leverage where you can actually, tell the world about this. I mean, that is not about being introvert right now. That's about just being who you are. I mean, LinkedIn has given you that leverage.
yeah, I think the major problem which I was having, or which every author will usually have, is probably they want to see instant sales. So my husband was like, just forget about making money. Just look at it like it's just a side income, and you might never be able to make as much you want immediately, except you put in a lot of marketing effort and telling
Yeah.
people you do this and do that and all. But it's been an interesting journey so far.
So how much is this book and how can people get it? How can they order for it?
So the book is on Amazon because I'm actually printing the book from the UK here. So it's live. The launch is meant to be February 18th, but the book is actually available on Amazon now. The book should be in Nigeria by early February, so people can pre-order now because we have just limited copies available. So they can check my profile, or they can just go to seller, then forward slash how LinkedIn work paperback, or it's just easier for them to go to my profile on LinkedIn, that's Damala Felicia Badmos, and then they can always get the link to purchase in my bio.
All right, thank you about that. Since you are in the UK, and if what if we have some Nigerian or some people outside UK that wants to purchase this book? Will there be like a virtual
Yes,
launching of the book?
all launched because of
Um,
the Nigerian audience, actually.
wow, that's beautiful. So we are going to have the link. We are going to attach to the link to this podcast, right?
Yes, 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 yes. It's going to be in the podcast. Yes.
Thank you very much for your time, Miss Damilola Felicia. We really do appreciate. Before I go, what is your secret to being consistent? I forgot to ask that question earlier.
Do you want
What
me
would
to
you
be
say?
very honest with this answer?
Please be very blunt. Bust my brain.
It's a lot of hard work, really, I would say. A lot of times, when I first started, oftentimes because I want to make a post by 8 a.m. back in Nigeria, I would have to wake up like 4. I want to write, I want to write, I want to write. Because
Are
the
you
first
serious for a post?
you have to, but for newbies, so I wouldn't scare people out. What I when my husband first started, what we first did was, okay, this is your niche. What are the things you think people can, what are the things you think you can teach people that is related to a professional setting? I use the professional setting in sense that so that people can relate to whatever it is that you're writing. Do you understand? So he being a physio guy, though they have a lot of grammars in their stuff, I was like, you know what, just bring it down to a layman level. Then we sat down, we used answerthepublic.com. It was really helpful. So just you just type a
Answer
keyword
the
and
topic.
yeah, answer the
Yes,
public.
I think I've heard of that. There's this other one called Socrate. I think Socrate.com or AskSocrate.com. It's also like answer the public.
But Answer the Public is like my favorite because you tap a keyword and it shows different things people ask. Then another thing I like to do is just go on Google and type content ideas for so and so. So we did content ideas for physiotherapists. We saw different options and then we picked some that are related to what it does. Then we created, okay, I asked what's your best time? He said he can only do Mondays only. But we tried Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So what we did was, okay, Monday, because it's a fresh day, let's do motivation. Then on Wednesday, we went deep into information, like education. So teaching people why they shouldn't sit for long at work. Something educational in your niche.
I think
If
I
you're
saw that post. I think I particularly saw that post. That's sitting for long.
Yeah, that one. If you are like a manager at work, you can put a post about how to manage employees or why employees. So that's what I'm saying, depends on your target audience. Obviously, if you're a manager, you might need people in your level. But if you're a manager that wants to teach young people how to behave themselves at work, then you have to look for people in that niche. I don't know if you get it. So then Friday we said, okay, because it's Friday, let's do something casual. Then I just gave him an idea that, okay, you know what, don't stress your head. Let's just go to TikTok and let's get a video that resonates with what you do. Even though if you can't do a video that gives examples of backache, somebody else on TikTok would do it and then just post it and tag the person. So you created three contents that way. There's some people that do Monday to Fridays, but if you're just starting out, you might run out of content.
I did for 30 days straight. Actually, I posted content for 30 days straight. It was a 30 days writing challenge.
How was
But
it?
then I got result, but after a while it was kind of declining. Then I got to understand that it's not just about posting, it's about posting and engaging, because you don't just want to post and just run away. You have to engage. In fact, do more of engaging than posting. Do more of engaging. I don't know if you know Taslim, is a
Yeah, yeah,
LinkedIn
no
creator.
problem.
He was saying engage as if your life depends on it, because that is the way you can help the algorithm. And I felt, well, I think you
Well,
might have
I
some really
wouldn't
truth
say
in
that.
it.
I wouldn't want to believe that because I think I used to make a lot of posts on this. Is you'll stress out yourself. So the goal is just have fun because there's a difference between trying to build a brand and trying to get engagement on time, right?
Like enjoy it instead of forcing it.
Yeah, yeah. Because when I came on LinkedIn, I first started with I came because to be honest, I left my job, so I was jobless and I had enough time. So LinkedIn was like my full time job. Now,
You would have used the
that
word unemployed rather than jobless. You know how Nigerians take the word jobless.
unemployed. Okay, sorry, unemployed. Yeah, I was unemployed, but I was employed. I was self-employed, not employed. I was self-employed, so my audience was on LinkedIn. So there are some people that their full-time job is probably caterer or so, and their full-time job is getting clients on Instagram. So it depends on. It's just a normal. It's just like a mind thing. Wherever it is that you want to get your income, obviously, is where you would put all your efforts. That's why I like to be realistic like that. If I was a full time consultant and probably helping people on LinkedIn, I'll be posting back to back. But because I know that LinkedIn is not my main source of income, it's just like a side income stuff, influencing gigs, um, book, probably help me with photography. I'm also trying to also build my career. Do you get? So I'm not someone that limits myself to just the social world only. So there are some people that just want to be full-time social creators. That's fine. So you need to know what works for you and be realistic with yourself. That's what I would say. Because wherever it is that you put your energy is obviously where you get results.
Yeah, thank you. So before we call it a day, what is your final advice for every LinkedIn users out there? What is your um give it, or your takeaway or your giveaway for us, the rest of the LinkedIn user? What will you tell them to do, and what will you tell them to always put in mind?
Okay, I think my final words for people on that, probably on LinkedIn or what's try LinkedIn, is that we all have a story to tell. We all have different perspectives to life, and the best way you can show people is by being active. I never knew I could write the book. I never knew there was so much deposited in me. I just started writing. And the writing I mean is not just putting forwards line and a picture and say, today is a sunny day. Hope you are having a good day. No, but taking your time to develop yourself, go online, research, read, put words into writing. And then the more you go, and the more you get better. I will say that do not ignore the presence of the Holy Spirit or whatever faith it is that you believe in. Let God lead you, because if God leads you in the right way and tells you what to write, there is that inspiration that comes from Him that no book can even give you. So learn to be
Mm.
sober sometimes, and also take a break so you don't get overwhelmed. When you give out to people, also get to receive from your own study as well.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So that's it on Write and Speak Better podcast listeners. This is Damilola Felicia Badmos. If you want to reach out to her, you can just reach out to her on LinkedIn at Damilola Felicia. She's on LinkedIn. She will be ready to answer all of your questions. And if you have any question about LinkedIn, please do not ask her. Just go and buy her book. If you now buy her book, oh, you can now be
You
asking her
for that.
question after
That's a lot
that.
safer.
Thank you so much for listening to our podcast today. My name is Olalekan Mandela. Join us next week as we invite other guests out that will share us how to improve our professional life, write better, or even speak better. Don't forget to subscribe and rate this podcast 5-star and give a positive review so that the algorithm can push this podcast to potential audience. Also, if you'd like to collaborate with me on any project, please don't forget to send us a mail at olalekamandela@gmail.com. And if you want to connect with me, you can connect with me on any social media platform: Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Snapchat, all social media platform at Olalekan Mandela. Just search it there, you will find me. And if you want to have a collaboration with our podcast, or you have something to do with our podcast, or you want to ask any question, then search Write and Speak Better Podcast on any social media platform. It's gonna bring it to you. Write and Speak Better Podcast or LinkedIn page. It's gonna bring it. Write and Speak Better Podcast Network. It's a Facebook group. You can join and ask your questions. Write and Speak Better Podcast on Twitter. Write and Speak Better Podcast on Instagram. Ask your questions and we'll be glad to answer you. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day. Bye.
Take me deeper, deeper than I've ever been before. I just wanna love you more and more. How I long to be deeper in love. Oh yeah, in love.